What is going on, YouTube, and what's up, my Canadians? For those that are watching, I don't know, maybe you're American, you just want to watch this. Came across this video because I've been talking about how the housing market is in Canada and how perceivably is pretty bad. And I saw a little bit of a snippet of this, and seemingly it's a lot worse than what I thought, at least in certain areas. This is in Ontario, so we're gonna deep dive into this and see what we can find out, because this is interesting. This is very interesting.
CTV's Adrian Gobriel does a deeper dive into navigating the housing market. Adrian.
Sandy, the housing picture has a different facade depending on where you're located in the country. Here north of Toronto in Newmarket, Ontario, a single mother bought this home behind me back in 2017. Now desperate to sell, for months she struggled to even get a single offer.
I have to basically beg people to come and just even look at the house. I've been struggling.
Mariam Musavi admits she's barely making ends meet. As a real estate agent in the Greater Toronto Area, her net income has dropped significantly as housing sales have dried up.
200 to 300K versus for past year, I think I didn't make more than 50K.
The national average sale price of a home sold in October was just over $690,000, down 1.1% from a year ago.
So I understand this isn't American dollars, unless I'm wrong. Like, let me know. So I know the conversion is like for every $1 of American is 72 cents. So if you convert that, I looked it up. I'm not doing this mental math. I'm not that smart. That's around like what, 400,000 some change, which is around how much it is like nationally for America. So you guys are pretty much right there, but seemingly that's not the case everywhere. Which even still, no offense to these houses, cause I looked at it. I ain't paying that much for that house right there. I'm just saying, that's no.
According to the Canadian Real Estate Association.
If you're in Quebec or you're in Saskatchewan or you're in Atlantic, you're in good shape. If you're in Ontario or British Columbia or maybe even Calgary, you got some issues.
This home east of Toronto was purchased in September 2024 for $2.3 million. Last month, it sold for $1.2 million.
So to have that make sense in American dollars, right? If it's counted like that, 2.3 is around 1.6 million. I'll go back to the picture of the house, 1.6 million. And then it sold for 1.2 million, which is around $800,000, give or take. That's bad. Like, I do a lot of work in a lot of different states and everything like that, and I travel quite a bit. And I see some pretty outrageous prices and everything like that. Even down here in Georgia, we have some outrageous prices. That's insane. That's insane.
Last month, it sold for $1.2 million, a seven-figure drop due to a power of sale.
Once the banks don't receive a full payment, they will notify the borrower. If it's not fully caught up at the end of 3 months, the banks will turn, by law, the banks will turn the house over to their legal group to move forward with a power of sale or foreclosure action. They're up 90% compared with what they were just a few months ago.
Losing her home to the banks is a real possibility for Musavi if she can't sell her home soon.
I almost lost the house. With no income, I couldn't even pay my mortgage, and I have to sell the house.
The Canadian Real Estate Association expects the country's housing market to become more active in 2026, though some mortgage and housing experts we spoke with say that the economic uncertainty could lead to prolonged pain for many. Sandy.
All right.
Yeah, I could agree with them, because if you seen on my channel where I've talked about what's going on with Canada, how they're trying to make a real shift away from the American markets and really invest in America and invest in themselves, it's not going to be a good transition. It's going to be very painful. Any change, especially major change like that deals with money, is never an easy one. I don't know how they see it being more active in 2026, because unless home prices drop, that's the issue though. The issue isn't the fact that people don't want homes or anything like that. They can't afford them. They need to drop more. That's why that sold for 1.2 million as opposed to 2.3 million, because no one's paying that much. And I'm pretty sure that's why she's trying to leave too, because she's like, wait, I'm paying this much and this. Hell no, I gotta go. That's why she's trying to leave. Else she wouldn't be trying to sell her house. And that's why she's struggling to sell her house, because no one wants to spend that much money. I'm not an expert in the housing market. I will never pretend to be. But one thing I can say is that if your house isn't selling for a certain amount of time, like months, as she said, two things to look at: your price and the area. If those two things right, are not aligned. In other words, if people are looking at the price saying, that's too much, if people looking at the area going, I don't want to live there, you're going to have some problems. That much I do know. So it sucks. Hopefully she doesn't lose her house. I wouldn't want anybody to lose their home because that's terrible. But something's going to have to give. She might take a loss. She might have to take a loss because no one's going to be looking to buy that house for, I don't know how much she was selling it for. It didn't say. But if it's going for the same rate as the other ones that we saw and or the example that was shown there, nah, she's going to take a loss on that one. You know, and you kind of have to think to yourself, what's worse? Foreclosing on the home and then getting kicked out, or losing, I don't even know how much she would probably lose, thousands of dollars. That's a tough decision. I wouldn't want that for anyone, you know. Yeah, Canada, I didn't know it was like that. And I know it's not everywhere, and I know it's not like a good representation of the entire country, but that's still pretty bad. Because even if I was to convert it into like our standard for money and everything like that, the 2.3 million, which would be 800, which would be 1.6 million. The 1.2 million, which would be 800,000, and then so on and so forth. Whoa. Hopefully 2026, just like what the Canadian Home Association, whatever that's called, can't remember. Hopefully that'll be better, just like what they said, but it's not looking like it. So hopefully you guys can make it through. Well, that's it for this video, you guys. You already know the drill. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment down below, tell me your thoughts. If you live in Canada, especially if you live in the Ontario area, let me know what's going on. Like, is this video a good representation of what's going on? Is what I'm saying a good representation of what's going on? Because I even looked in the comments of this video, right? And a lot of people were saying the exact same thing. Hey, look, you got to lower the price of your home because it's not going to sell. People don't want to spend that much on a home. It's not worth it, you know, especially in this time. So definitely let me know down in the comments below. You know, keep me informed. I want to know what's going on over there. But yeah, that's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.